Hey students, I am going to go over the neoplasm homework. A couple of different things. I will put the actual homework into announcements too. You did have the answers for number 1 and 3. I had them right in the assignment itself. A couple of different things. Just an FYI, we have the malignant neoplasm of the stomach, so here this was the primary. Secondary site was of the ovary. We had pleural effusion, and then we had all of these procedure codes. One thing you need to really remember is going to be the chemotherapy code, and that's going to be the 3E code. You're going to have this on the exam. Okay, number 3, we just have COPD. We have malignant neoplasm of the upper lobe. Okay, so number 5. We have multiple myeloma not having achieved remission. So it's a C90 code. A couple of you coded an S code here for fracture. Keep in mind the S code means that there was trauma or it was traumatic fracture, and that is not the case here. It states right in the thing that it was pathological. So we also have a fluid overload, which everybody did pretty well on that, and then the ventricular tachycardia. Okay, number 7. With this, we have malignant neoplasm of the pancreas. Okay, that is the primary site. And then the secondary site here, keep in mind, is other specified areas. With number 7, as I look through it, keep in mind it's into the portal vein. So it's going to be the secondary unspecified site. And then we have the inspection of the upper intestinal tract. Number 9, this is big. I don't think anybody coded Z51.11. This goes back to intro to coding. Whenever you have a patient being admitted for chemotherapy, radiation, you need the Z51.11 code as principal diagnosis. Okay, now if a patient's in the hospital, let's say they went in for hysterectomy, and while they're in there, they're saying, hey, you have cancer of the ovaries, we're going to do some chemotherapy. Then you don't code the Z51.1, only when they are admitted for it, okay? Again, if you have this wrong on the test, you're going to be getting points taken off. The malignant neoplasm here is of the ovary, primary site, and it's spread to, for number 9, we have metastasis to the diaphragm and the omentum. Okay, so we need to code both of those. All right, and then again, we have our chemotherapy. Okay, number 11. Here we have basically the localized swelling and mass lump of the trunk, and then again, we just have the symptoms, signs and symptoms. Okay, 13, once again, encounter for chemotherapy. The other thing to remember for number 13 is that this patient here did have melanoma. Okay, the melanoma's gone, so you do not code the C80 because we know where the primary cancer came from. Okay, then we know that it's spread to the 3 different locations that is listed here in the codes. Okay, let's just do a quick another scenario here. Let's say that we started off with breast cancer. Okay, again, none of these problems deal with this, but let's just say I had breast cancer and they do a bilateral mastectomy and my breast cancer's gone. 8 years later, I go in and the cancer spread to my liver. Okay, so when I go in, I'm going in, at this point, my principal diagnosis is going to be secondary cancer of the liver, and with that, the primary cancer is gone. Okay, so you're going to put history, personal history of ovarian cancer, or breast cancer, sorry about that, personal history of breast cancer, and then you're going to also code absence of the breast. So you're going to have 2 different codes. So again, I started off with breast cancer, it's gone. Okay, I'm in remission. Okay, 8 years later, it went to the liver. So now my first code's going to be secondary cancer of the liver. I'm going to code history of breast cancer, and then I'm also going to code absence of the breast. Okay, All right, so let's look at 15. This one wasn't too bad. And see any issues. Number 17, remember, this is outpatient. We have pleural effusion. We have another admission here for inpatient. So this one's inpatient, and this point we know that they have lung cancer. Okay. 19 again was not an issue. 21, again, secondary malignant neoplasm of the bone. Okay. Here's the example of what I was just talking about. So this patient had cancer of the prostate. They took it out. The only thing missing here for 21, and I got to make sure that I didn't miss the code here, but they should also have absence of the prostate. So we have personal history of the prostate because that's where it was. Okay, they got rid of it. It's gone. With that, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of looking at this. I'm kind of winging this right here. I take that back. So they came in severe back pain. He had the prostate back in 2006. Yes, correct. It's gone. So now it metastasized to the spine or the bone. Okay, so again, at this point now they're taking off the testes. Okay, so you're going to do personal history of the prostate cancer. Okay. And then 23 and 25 are not an issue. The biggest thing is make sure you don't forget to code your procedures, your chemotherapy for all of these. Hopefully this short little video helps. If you have any questions, let me know.